All right, so this is going to be a review of Top Gun Maverick. It's the sequel to the '80s movie, the iconic, classic '80s movie. We get a lot of these sequels to like older movies and things like that. They're kind of forced. Most of which I think I haven't really liked. There's been a few, but this one's getting good reviews. I heard one person even say that it's better than the original. We'll see about that. It's directed by Joseph Kosinski. So in this, it starts off with Tom Cruise as Maverick once again, and he's testing this plane, this kind of futuristic plane. It's almost like he's going into space. It was like Interstellar almost, which is plays into like a joke that happens with that later on. But he gets chosen to teach these other, really great pilots. They were also in the Top Gun program. I think they're all, they all graduated top of their class, I guess. In the Top Gun program themselves. So there's this really dangerous mission. I mean, just like full on suicide mission that may not even work. That they're being selected for, and he has to teach them how to do this mission potentially, and it's very high risk, and they're expected to not be able to come back afterward. But they have to take out this uranium little thing or something. I guess they have uranium in this area that's covered with like mountains with like ballistic missiles around and things like that. He has to teach them how to do that, and then also select certain ones to actually go on the mission because they're not all going to be selected to be part of the team. One of those is actually the son of Goose, the Maverick's co-pilot from the first one that died, played by Miles Teller, and they have some tension going on between those two, and that kind of plays out throughout the movie. So, like I said, this is getting really good reviews, and I agree with them. This is actually, not only is it the best movie I've seen this year at this point, but it is actually better than the original overall. I do have a couple issues, one of which is a pretty pretty big one. It's not enough to derail the movie completely in any way, but it was something where I was like, okay, this is a bit annoying, but I get why you're doing it. But the performances are great. Tom Cruise and Miles Teller have a lot of on-screen chemistry, and I really liked their storyline and the thing that's going on with that. At first, I was like, okay, you guys are really rehashing, like, oh, you're the reason why my father's dead or something like that, because they had already dealt with that really in the first movie. I just rewatched it last night, so I'm fully fresh. That was fully dealt with in that first movie. So I was like, oh, you guys are really rehashing that. But no, it's actually something else that happened. And I thought that was really interesting. And it added to the stakes of what's going on, of him potentially being chosen for this mission that he may not come back from. And Maverick has to deal with that. It's well shot. It has a great score. Every every plane scene, every scene where they're flying in a plane, whether they're training for the mission or the actual mission, in the climax, is fantastic. I mean, it's great. I mean, I've never wanted to be a pilot ever, but I was watching this and I was like, this is fucking awesome. Like even more than the first one. Unlike the first one where there was a lot of it where I was like, I'm enjoying this, but there's parts of it where I'm not 100% on what they're doing. They do a really good job of explaining the mission and just the weight of what they're trying to do. That at certain points they have to go at certain speeds and lift up, and so it actually weighs them down to the point where they actually pass out while they're piloting the plane. That afterwards, even if it's done right, the plane may be completely unusable because it's such a insane feat. They do a great job of that, and it really gets you invested. It's every dogfight, everything they do with the planes in this movie exhilarating. I mean, it's so great. It's just about perfect. So negatives. Let's start off with the big one. Well, the biggest one. The callbacks to the original. I mean, I know you have to do it, especially with because it's all about name recognition. You want to get asses in the seats, and I know you have to get those trailers out, and you have to really hit the nostalgia and things like that in those trailers. So I get why you're doing it, but this movie is so good, so good, on its own, doing its own thing. that it actually does kind of feel out of place whenever they feel like they need to just force callbacks. I mean, there are so many scenes of just looking at pictures of things that happened in the original, or with Goose and Maverick and things like that. It's so much, so much. And then there was a part where that really kind of irked me. There's a part where they're at a bar, and the music shuts off, and Miles Teller's character Rooster, Goose's son, goes up to the piano and starts playing goodness gracious, great balls of fire. And I was like, really? Like, this is forced, like, to the point where if you hadn't seen the original movie, it would feel out of place for you. You'd be like, whoa, why did he just go up and do that? And then when the flashback scenes happen right after that, with Maverick thinking of Goose as a result of it, it's like, oh, okay, so that's a callback. That's a forced callback. There's other parts like that. Like, obviously, you're gonna play some of the old music and things like that, which I didn't really have much of an issue with. But the constant pictures and things like that, and the flashbacks and that part on the piano, it was like, it really does feel out of place in this movie. Other things, it is a little heavy with exposition because it's been so many years since that original one, in real life and within the movie. So it feels like it needs to catch you up on things. It needs to recap certain things, but it definitely needs to catch you up on things that have happened to the characters in between movies, especially Maverick. And he has this romance with Jennifer Connelly's character, which really feels like they just wanted a romance in this movie, and they couldn't get the actress from the original movie, so they just said, "All right, we'll have a character, Jennifer Connelly. They have a past with each other where he broke her heart or something like that." And I couldn't get fully invested in that relationship, even though I do think they have chemistry, simply because it feels forced, and I don't feel like I have the development needed to get invested in it. Character development of the other pilots. I get it. Not all of them are going to go on that mission, and so you don't want to kind of pad the runtime with a development that isn't needed. But I needed a little bit more, I think, with the other pilots, but especially Rooster, Miles Teller's character. I mean, for his character to be as important to the story and have this relationship with Maverick and have that be a thing, especially towards the end, such a powerful thing towards the end. I it, I didn't feel like I really knew him. Like, his character is Goose's son. That's it. There's a point where he tells Maverick, "You don't have anybody, at home waiting for you." And I was thinking to myself, "Do you?" Like, if they did mention him having a family, a girlfriend, wife, whatever, children, I don't remember it, and I definitely don't think they were in the movie at any point, unless I am kind of tired. Maybe I dozed off. I'm pretty sure they didn't show anything of his real, like, personal life. So his character felt underdeveloped as a result of that. All that being said, like I said, this movie's amazing. Great performances by pretty much everybody. Tom Cruise is great in this. Uh, you know, it has really great, airplane scenes and things like that. Pretty good banter between the characters. So I'm gonna give this my highest rating. I'm gonna give it a beyond awesome. It really is the best movie I've seen this year, and I don't know how they pulled it off, but it really is a better movie overall than that original movie. I just rewatched it yesterday. I can say for certain that the certain writing choices that they decided to do, and really focusing on this mission and getting you really invested in everything going on within the plot, really really worked for this movie. So that's it. That's Top Gun Maverick. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, we're done.